It's 7:14 a.m. on a Thursday morning, and you're standing at the kitchen counter, waiting on a coffee maker that's older than your marriage. From the window, your neighbor Derek is backing his truck out of the driveway, the diesel engine loud enough to rattle your window glass. He waves. You wave back. Your car is 12 years old, paid off, parked crooked because you never bother straightening it anymore. Your retirement app is open next to your coffee mug. You glance at it the way you glance at a weather app. Out of habit, not worry. $12,000. You close the app. You drive to work in the quiet car. Nobody who sees you this morning would guess that number, and for a long time, you wouldn't have believed it yourself. Because for 14 months of your working life, you turned down free money on purpose, and you didn't even know you were doing it. Rewind 12 years. You're 24, 3 weeks into your first real job, sitting in a windowless HR office, while a woman named Renee slides a stack of enrollment forms across the table. Salary, $52,000. Somewhere in the stack is a form for the company's 401k. Renee taps it and tells you the company matches 50 cents on every dollar you put in, up to 6% of your pay. You nod like you understand. You don't, not really. What you understand is that 6% of $52,000 is about $260 a month, and your rent alone is $1,050. And your student loan is another $310. And the number in your checking account most weeks doesn't clear $500. So you leave the 401k box unchecked. Not out of any decision, really. Out of math that felt urgent that day and stopped mattering the second you walked out of that office. Derek, 3 cubicles over, leases a Ford F-150 that month for $602 a month. He doesn't need a truck. He hauls nothing. He likes how it looks next to the building. You don't judge him for it. You get a credit card that same year for emergencies, and by your second Christmas, the balance sits at $2,300 at 24.9% APR, right around the national average this year, and quietly costing you about $48 a month just to exist. 14 months go by like this. Then Renee, walking past your desk with a stack of paperwork, stops and asks why your name isn't on the 401k roster. You tell her the math. She looks at you for a second, the way people look at you right before they say something you'll remember. You're being paid to save money, she says, and you're saying no thank you. She doesn't lecture you further. She just walks off with her paperwork. But that night, you do the math you didn't want to do. 14 months of a 3% employer match on your salary is roughly $1,820 of free money you simply never claimed. Nobody billed you for it. It just quietly wasn't there. You enroll the next pay period, minimum to get the full match, 6% of your check, gone before you see it. Your employer adds 3% on top, automatically every 2 weeks, without asking. Within a year, you barely notice the smaller paycheck. Within 2 years, you've almost forgotten the account exists, which turns out to be the entire point. At 26, a competitor offers you a role at $61,000. Better title, same work. You take it. What nobody explains to you in the offer letter is that the new company's match comes with a 3-year graded vesting schedule, meaning the employer's contributions aren't fully yours until you've stayed 3 years. You don't ask about it. Almost nobody does. At 2 years and 4 months, a better opportunity comes along and you take it, and in the process you forfeit $1,780 of match money that was sitting in your account with your name on it and was never technically yours to keep. This is the part almost nobody tells new hires, that the free money employers advertise has fine print, and the fine print has a clock on it. You're angrier about the $1,680 than you ever were about anything Derek did with his truck. So this time, before accepting the next offer, you ask the recruiter directly, is the match immediate vesting or graded? She has to check. Most candidates never ask. You do from now on, every time. At 29, your new employer offers a high-deductible health plan paired with a health savings account, and you contribute the full $4,300 allowed that year, mostly out of habit at this point. What you don't fully understand yet is that this account has a feature almost nobody uses correctly. Money goes in pre-tax, it grows tax-free, and if you spend it on medical costs, it comes out tax-free too. But if you don't spend it, it simply keeps compounding, untouched. And after 65, you can pull it out for anything at all. No penalty. Taxed only like ordinary income. You start paying small medical bills out of pocket instead, a $340 urgent care visit, a $95 prescription, and photographing every receipt into a folder you never look at again. The account itself, you leave alone completely. That same year, the market drops hard. Over about 9 months, your retirement balance goes from $46,000 to $37,000, a number that feels much worse as a percentage than it does as a number. You call Renee, mostly to hear someone not panic. She's retired by then, on the phone from her kitchen, and she says almost nothing new, just the number on the screen isn't the number in your pocket until you sell. You're not selling. You don't sell. Your contribution keeps hitting the account every 2 weeks through the entire drop, buying more shares for the same money than you were a year earlier. 18 months later, the account isn't just back to $46,000. It's at $71,000. At 31, you're offered a promotion that comes with a $19,000 raise and, informally, an expectation of being reachable most evenings. You do the math almost instinctively now, the way you didn't at 24. The raise, invested instead of spent, compounds into something meaningful over 30 years. Your evenings, once gone, don't compound into anything. You turn it down. Derek takes a similar promotion at his company that year. His new truck payment is $714 a month, on a 5-year loan on a vehicle that will be worth a third of that by the time it's paid off. At 33, your accounts cross $150,000 combined, and the strange part is how little it feels like anything. There's no morning where you wake up and notice. There's just a Tuesday, and a slightly bigger number than the Tuesday before it. Derek's truck gets repossessed that winter. His income never dropped. He just kept financing the version of himself he wanted people to see, the same way you almost did at 24 with a 401k box you left unchecked because $260 a month felt urgent. At 36, you finally look closely at that HSA folder of old receipts. 11 years of small medical bills you paid out of pocket and never reimbursed yourself for. The total comes to $9,400. The account itself, left alone that whole time, has grown to $41,000. You could reimburse yourself for all $9,400 tax-free today for a coffee run's worth of paperwork, and the money would still have compounded for over a decade before you even touched it. This is the piece almost nobody explains about an HSA. It isn't really a health account. It's a second retirement account wearing a health account's paperwork, and most people spend it dry every year without knowing what they gave up. That winter, your car needs a new transmission. The estimate is $2,600. 3 years earlier, this would have gone straight on the 24.9% card. This time, it comes out of a separate account you built almost without noticing. 6 months of expenses set aside in cash, untouched, boring on purpose. You barely think about the number before you approve the repair. A Federal Reserve survey that same year finds that more than a third of American adults couldn't cover a $400 emergency out of pocket without borrowing or selling something. You used to be one of them. You don't mention that number to Derek when his truck's transmission goes out the following spring, and he puts it on a card because there isn't a version of that conversation that doesn't sound like bragging, even when it isn't meant as any. Renee dies that spring, 3 years into a retirement. She spent mostly gardening and driving the same Camry she'd had since before you met her. At the small service, her son mentions, almost as an aside, that she'd left behind more than the family had ever guessed. Quietly, in an account nobody at the office had known to ask about. You think about a windowless HR office 12 years earlier, and a form you almost didn't check, and a sentence that took you 14 months to actually hear. It's 7:14 on a Thursday morning again. Further down the road now, Derek's newest truck is parked in his driveway, still not paid off. Your account sits at $612,000, most of it built 2 pay periods at a time, out of money you decided, very early and very unglamorously, not to say no to. You close the app. You drive to work in the quiet car. Nobody who sees you this morning would guess the number, and that was never really the point. This video is for information and storytelling purposes only, and isn't personalized financial advice. Talk to a licensed advisor about your own situation. If this changed how you think about the fine print on your own paycheck, hit like and subscribe. There are more stories like this coming. And I'm curious, is there a form sitting in your HR portal right now that you've never actually opened? Tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.